I'm Yusuf.
I'm Anthony, and we're Primitive. Pronounced primitive, not primdiv.
Not Primdiv, not Prime Dave, not Primidiv, Primitive. Unreal.
Very crazy. So when we first got a message from them on Instagram saying they really liked our EP on another label called DSR, and they said if you had any promos, send it through, we'll consider them, all that sort of stuff. And so off that, I said to Yusuf, let's make something based on the concept of what we released, one of the tracks we released on DSR.
You know what's the crazy thing? We literally made that track in that was the quickest track we made. It was probably not even a full day, and it just all just clicked straight, all the creative stuff. Normally it's you get a bit of a block, come back to it, whatever, but it's one idea after the other, and that's why it was so good, I think, because it just came naturally.
It came really quickly, and then we sent it to them, and straight away they were like, it's a bomb, we're going to test it out. And so for the next month and a half, they were testing it at a bunch of big events, and we got a bunch of clips from them, Rotterdam Rave being one of them. Yeah, then they agreed to release it, and we were just... I remember when they told us the official, yes, we're gonna release it on our label. I jumped up and down. I was in holidays in Italy at my cousin's house, and I was jumping up and down like a madman at 10 a.m. in the morning because it's just crazy, considering how long we were into our project. Probably 6 months in or something.
Yeah, that's sort of where it started. 2023, just amazing. We started, what was that first gig? It was probably, I don't know.
Our first gig was Heavy Tech.
Yeah.
So it was an event run by a friend of ours that shared our interest in the sort of movement of hard techno right now, where it's very sort of big room / hardstyle influenced hard techno.
I think, yeah, the hard part about last year was trying to network, get to know people, meet new people. You got to sort of start again, from what we were doing in hardstyle. We'd be having to restart everything we knew, everyone we knew, and basically start from scratch. And
in saying that, it didn't take too long for us, for certain people to recognize our music. One of the first ones is Lindsay Lestrange. He hit us up via a story of ours on Instagram, one of our first tracks, and straight away he was like, I really love this.
In general, the whole year is just a lot of love and support from people we didn't even really know. And that's why we just love this community. And this community is really open arms and just, really loving. And it's been a good year.
Yeah, very good year.
Well, we really start from, the core of the track. Probably I would say we'd start from the main drop and sort of work backwards. And then we just, whatever we do, we end up with acid sounds. I don't know why. It's just, we just love acid. It's just so good.
we love acid, and, sometimes we get in blocks, but then it really just takes one sound or one percussion just to really just kick us into a groove, and then it just flows.
We'd like to do more melodies. That's probably one goal we'd like, is to just introduce more melodies, but while still being on the techno side, not having too much. Try and minimize the breakdowns a little bit. I think our breakdowns can get a bit lengthy, and that's probably just a hardstyle nature of what we're accustomed to.
It is the hardstyle nature. We come from hardstyle. That was our.
But I think in a sense we're also kind of good that we're sort of in between.
We are in the middle.
That's where we want to sit.
We call our stuff hard techno, but it is really bordering on the line of right in between hard techno and hardstyle, which I'm glad. Even though it does pigeonhole us a bit, it doesn't at the same time. And I think that's what sort of is making our stuff a bit recognizable and unique right now. We're starting to get a sound that people are oh yeah, that's primitive,
Well, I think if you're going to go with what has all the best sounds, I suppose either Silent or Serum. They're the two our favorites, but otherwise we got all these little ones, Volume Shape is just it just makes sounds really sick. You can use it for a few different things. You can use really screeches, just a rhythm, the in-out sound. It's
Volume Shaper, Silent.
I think Silent is probably what we use the most. I would say that's probably
Rumble Kick.
Yeah, well, nimble kick.
Sorry.
Nimble kick is like what we use for our kicks.
And we use it all the time, you know. It's very core to...
It's a hard question.
Our kicks,
I can't answer. I can't really truthfully say one is better than the other. Ooh. Well, say local. I'd rather focus on locally because that's all I'm really familiar with. I'd say everyone in the BPM management crew has really got potential, but I'd say probably Ross, the Opera Da Vinci, is probably definitely we call him the prodigal son or golden child of hard techno here.
Yeah, like Ross, the Opera Da Vinci was the first name that comes to my head.
But you know, the other guys like Lestrange, he's already established. I'd say it's. I'm not going to say he's probably an up and comer because he's already made it in my eyes. So I think
he's established in the Australian scene. He's very definitely upcoming in the international scene. He's going to get there. He's killing it.
And same sort of thing for Mike Wildman probably as well. He's got a good. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Ross just because of his age. He's just
agree.
He's got so much energy and yeah, he's a good kid.
We'll be collabing with him soon.
Yes, yeah, we will. Pet peeve?
I've got one. I think there is a lot of established DJs, really good DJs, but less producers. I think there needs to be more established producers. Just from what I've seen in my very little time, maybe I just haven't listened to enough people. There are so many names in the scene internationally. But I think, look, Australia is an example though. We're very far from where all the core of it
I'd
is
give it
in Europe.
I'll give it another year or two, and you'll start to see more of these producers pop out.
Australia needs more producers for one, but I just think in general, just a bit more established producers taking the headlines as opposed
It'll
to
get there.
DJs.
It'll get there. It's still quite a young scene. So superstitions?
Nah.
Not really.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Normally one of us wears a hat.
I like to wear a hat because I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like wearing a hat.
He either wears two shirts. He wears the 9x9 shirt or this one. That's a ritual, I think, for you. You don't have much else in the closet.
Look, I just need to enlarge in my wardrobe.
But to be honest, I just have black, so I don't really have much going for me either. Whoa, that's the hard part, I think, about producing. I think getting in the zone is like something that doesn't happen every time. I think it's like you have to sort of like be inspired. I think you can't force things to happen. You got to really be letting it come naturally. So getting in the zone, what do you reckon?
I think one of our experience...
Maybe a couple of beers.
Look, we always have a couple of beers when we produce. But I think from my experience in Primitive with Yusuf, once we hear that sound that we sort of sample from or concept from or get an idea from, everything just
when we get one, it's a domino effect. We get one thing,
stuck and we hear something that just like, oh, that works. Then it just flows.
And then this guy's like,
you know it's a good day when I start.
He starts going,
getting up and just sort of gabbering.
He just starts screaming. And I'm like, okay, we're on. The boys are on.
Yeah.